Our last feature story today is about racing and ethanol. A few years ago, the IndyCar series ran ethanol, but it came from Brazil, which didn't sit well with American farmers. This year, NASCAR is running an ethanol blend in its Sprint Cup and Nationwide series. This ethanol is made in the United States. The hope is that if consumers can see that ethanol-blended gasoline works for NASCAR, it can work in their own cars. Market to Market's Mark Pearson reports.
On any given Sunday, from early spring to late fall, you can find an auto race somewhere across the United States. 37,000 NASCAR Nationwide Series fans turned out to watch the John Deere 250 at the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. While most fans can only dream about traveling at speeds over 150 miles per hour, jockeying for position on a 7/8 mile track, they can share something with their favorite driver, the fuel mixture. This racing season, all of the cars running in NASCAR races, from the Nationwide Series to the Sprint Cup, will be powered by a specialty blend of 15% ethanol and 85% unleaded fuel. And NASCAR officials are quick to point this specialty blend, called Sunoco Green 15, uses U.S. ethanol made from corn grown by American farmers. The new blend was heavily tested by NASCAR crews before it was approved for use late last year. For drivers and crew chiefs alike, one of the many benefits ethanol brings is an additional 8 horsepower. Rusty Wallace, racing commentator, racing team owner, track designer, and co-owner of the Iowa Speedway, tested the corn-based fuel in ratios up to E30.
I love ethanol as fuel for NASCAR. It's one of the smartest decisions we've ever made, bringing ethanol into NASCAR. I've wondered for a long time why that hadn't happened, and finally it did. When you watch Indy cars running ethanol and they're running over 240 miles an hour, look what they did at Indianapolis, 227. Makes all the sense in the world to be running that as our fuel in NASCAR and in racing, in my opinion, so I love it.
And drivers agree that E-15 is good for the sport.
I tell you what, whatever's better for the environment and gives us more horsepower, we're good.
And with E-15 recently approved for use in all street vehicles, model year 2001 and newer, team co-owner and NASCAR legend Jack Roush likes how ethanol helps auto racing and the daily driver.
Ethanol is a great addition to the NASCAR program in terms of affiliations with things that are good for our economy and good for our environment.
While the ethanol industry is receiving a big public relations bump from Green 15, the 13 billion gallons of ethanol made annually by U.S. producers are surrounded by controversy. Critics blame ethanol for everything from depleting the water supply to the destruction of sensitive rainforest land. Though most of the criticism has been debunked by third-party groups and federal agencies, ethanol continues to be targeted as the leading cause of higher food prices. While nearly one-third of the corn crop is used for ethanol production, more than 70% of the protein contained in the corn is still available as feed. The supplement, more commonly known as distillers' grains, or DDGs, is a byproduct of the fermentation process. The DGs are fed to cattle and hogs, which in turn end up in America's grocery stores and on dinner tables across the country. Growth Energy, an ethanol trade advocacy group, has been working to end what has become known as the food versus fuel debate.
I think if you look at most of the stories today about the higher food prices, we're not the number one issue in being blamed, and that's for a reason, because factually, we weren't the cause of high food prices in 2007 and 8, and we're not today. And anyone who takes an objective look at that figures out what's driving up food prices is weather disasters in certain areas of the country. Food travels hundreds, if not 1,000 miles before it ever gets to the consumer. That's a bigger cost factor than the raw commodity, and excessive speculation by Wall Street.
While the debate continues, Bias is excited about what he thinks ethanol has done for the environment and fuel prices. And the public relations bonus of NASCAR using E-15 helps with what he believes is some positive buzz for higher ethanol ratios that can now be used in American light trucks and automobiles.
All the NASCAR are going to be running E-15 in their cars, which helps us make the consumer aware of the benefits of ethanol.
And it worked out well enough for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. that it powered the number 6 Fastenal Ford into the winner's circle.
It's cool. It's especially being here in Iowa, a lot of corn's growing, and it's just great that NASCAR's working with the sport and working to make the environment cleaner.
If you're interested in watching our story again, go to our Farm Week website, farmweek.msucares.com. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, we will also have links to that market-to-market website where you can see the story as well as read the script. And again, our website is farmweek.msucares.com.